There's definitely some bad news right now if you are a fan of old Bioware. And by saying that, I mean not only the old studio itself, but the old people that were part of that development that have then moved on and created their own studios that try to emulate the way that Bioware created games back in the day, with obviously a new game and new development studio accompanying them. And this was the case with a studio called Humanoid Origins, a studio that was created by Casey Hudson, a previous GM over at Bioware during the days where it would be considered the old Bioware by a lot of Bioware fans. But unfortunately, before we even saw anything of what they were working on, obviously we knew they were working on a sci-fi RPG similar to Mass Effect, but before we actually saw any gameplay or any reveal or really anything, this studio has announced that is going to be shutting down. And this is a huge hit if you were excited to see what the studio could bring. Obviously, like I mentioned, we didn't know what that could be as of yet. However, a lot of people actually thought this was Archetype Studios. Now, Archetype Studios is another studio headed by previous and old Bioware developers, and this studio combines developers from Bioware, from Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, EA, and some other AAA game development studios as well, and they are also creating a sci-fi RPG, and we have also not seen any at least gameplay from Exodus, the RPG that they are creating. However, at least there we have seen a lot of cinematics, and they have been building out the lore of the world very extensively leading up to their initial reveal trailer for the gameplay, which we have no idea when that will be. Now, before we get into what the studio specifically said and my take on this whole thing, thank you guys so much for over 870 subscribers. Hopefully we can get around 900 by the end of the week. That would be awesome. So if you are new to the channel, you like gaming news and gaming reviews, specifically with RPGs and action adventure type of games, and you do like the video you see here, please subscribe, like the video. It helps me out a lot. Now, let's get into the content. So there were definitely rumors circling around within the past year, or at least some that I saw, that Humanoid Origin might be shutting down, specifically for the reason that this studio was developed all the way back in 2021, and we had not seen anything, even hardly any concept art about the game that they were creating, which led people to speculate some lack of funding, some issues internally with the studio, them just not being anywhere near where they want to be within the game development. And it looks like a lot of these people ended up being right with their suspicions, with the game being shut down for a very similar reason. Now, it doesn't look like there's any public statements out there on Twitter about why this game shut down. However, Casey Hudson and the company did post on LinkedIn to pretty much explain the reason for the shutdown and what they were going to do moving forward. So this post from LinkedIn says, "Earlier today, we informed our staff that Humanoid Origin will be shutting down. Despite efforts to shield the studio from broader challenges in the industry, an unexpected shortfall of funding left us unable to sustain operations. We're heartbroken that we will not be able to bring our new science fiction universe to completion. Our main concern at this time, however, is for our team, and we are committed to supporting them in their transition to new employment. In our time together, the team achieved incredible progress and demonstrated that it's possible to do amazing work while fostering a culture of fun and creativity. We thank them for their talent, courage, and friendship. Thank you to everyone who supported us throughout our journey." Now, this just sucks, man, specifically for the people that worked at Humanoid Origin. These people are now going to have to go back out on the job search in the very strenuous, at least from what I've heard, job market of finding a job within the video game industry, and then have to go work at some place they might not like if they loved Humanoid Origin. Imagine you go from there to then having to work at some place like Ubisoft, for example. This is a huge bummer to a lot of these, if not all of these people. However, I think it is a very good thing that they're at least announcing that their first priority is helping these people find other jobs out in the industry. I think that's very big. But aside from this, this is also a huge bummer for the fans, specifically, like I mentioned at the start of my video, fans of old Bioware. And listen, whether you liked Dragon Age the Veilguard or you liked Mass Effect Andromeda and some of their newer projects, including even Anthem, it is obvious that Bioware has moved into a completely new direction on how they are creating video games and how they are building out their RPGs. In my opinion, at least, I actually did like Dragon Age the Veilguard. I did not like Andromeda. I did not really like Anthem. But these games don't have the same quality of writing. They don't have the same risks that old Bioware quote unquote was taking, and a new studio like Humanoid Origins, founded by someone who worked on some of those earlier games, was very exciting to a lot of fans that wanted games that felt more similar to the previous and old Bioware type of gaming experience. But it's not all doom and gloom, okay? We still have Archetype Studios. A studio, for all the information I know, is not shutting down, although some people did think it was shutting down. The studio is still headed by old Bioware developers. This game is aiming to be a sci-fi RPG similar to what this one's going to be. In this game, Exodus, they have a lot of cinematic trailers. Go check out their website. You can sit there for 30 minutes and watch all of these and see the lore and the story behind the game that they're making. I think it seems really damn cool for the most part from what they have revealed so far. And hopefully, Exodus can be a game with very good narrative, very good plot-driven story devices. On top of this, characters that you can play the game and relate to and get that old Bioware experience from that game. But we'll have to wait and we'll have to see. Hopefully this studio doesn't run into the same issues as Humanoid Origins. But Casey Hudson, brother, if you are listening, there is a big game called Mass Effect 4 that is on the slate, and I have a feeling it's going to need some help, brother. So keep your head up and let's explore these options. Thank you guys for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Please comment down below what you think about this whole thing. Are you still excited for Archetype Games' new game, Exodus, that is slated to come out in the coming years? Let me know what you guys think. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!